Good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is going to be a short and sweet live stream. Gonna shoot for 30 minutes. But welcome. Yeah. Got a bunch of shit to do tonight. So I'm going to cut it short. We're not going to go a full hour. And there's no topic of conversation tonight, which is normal, right? That's not anything crazy. Whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to talk about. Let's shoot the shit. Let's keep each other company. Whatever you want to talk about. All right, guys, welcome. Fat Man Vince, what's up, Vince? 80s kid from the 90s, Oscar. What's going on, Oscar? Christian. Swish, what's up, Swish? Who we got? Andrew, Unknown's Cars fan. Catherine. Scrolling down here. Jared, good to see you, Jared. Welcome, guys. Swish coming in with the first super chat and channel support of the stream. Hello, Greedo. Been a bit. Here's my question. What's your favorite Star Wars Galaxy memory, aside from the times you set up shop in the spaceport and buffed folks? Well, that's the one that I was going to say, but you prefaced your question, or you, with that caveat, because you knew my answer already. So other than, I have to mention it, just maybe people haven't heard about it. But yeah, my all-time, and then I'll answer your question. But my all-time favorite Star Wars Galaxies memory, which is my favorite Star Wars game of all time, is Star Wars Galaxies. It was an MMO that came out in the early 2000s, and it's just everything that I want in an MMO, especially a Star Wars MMO. It's just complete sandbox. And I was a doctor in the game. And I would sit in a spaceport, like Mos Eisley spaceport, and I would have a line of like 15 people waiting to get buffs from me. They would line up. They would the person in front of me would pay me like, I don't know, 5,000 credits, and I would buff all their stats before they go out adventuring, and then the next person would give me 5,000 credits, and I would buff all their stats, and it's just kind of how it went. And it was a really fun. I don't know. I was a part of the community, the economy, and it was fun. Other than that, my favorite Star Wars Galaxies memories always, they never revolve around combat, really. They always revolve around the community, Swish. I remember having guild get-togethers in my guild headquarters, my guild city, and it would literally just be people talking, occasionally on like TeamSpeak or whatever the equivalent was back then. I think it was TeamSpeak back then. Maybe. Or ICQ? No, ICQ, did it have voice back then? I don't remember. But yeah, it just like guild meetings in the middle of a guild city on Mos Eisley. Or traveling around to certain like points of interest, like going to see the Sarlacc pit and things like that. My favorite Star Wars Galaxies memories revolve around the community. I never really got into the combat that much. My first character that I ever made was a Terras Kasi. I mastered Terras Kasi. I was like a hand-to-hand combat guy in the game. And it was fun, but I quickly lost interest in it. And then I made a marksman. And I think I mastered marksman. I became I didn't become a bounty hunter. I can't remember which skill tree I maxed out. But it was something in the marksman category. And then after that, I realized that I didn't really care for the combat. What really drew me to the game was the economy and the sense of camaraderie and community, and then after I did Terras Kasi in a marksman, I actually became what's called an image designer. And the reason I did that was because it was like one of the easiest skills to max out. And what an image designer was basically like a plastic surgeon or a hairstylist. Someone would have to come to you. They would have to come to you if they wanted to change their character in any way. Like, that was a profession in the game that you could be. Like, you would just sit in, wherever and say, hey, I'm an image designer. What do you need? People would come up to you and be like, hey, give me red hair. Okay, boom. Give me 500 credits, Hey, can you change this, that, this, that? And you could literally change their character as if they were creating their character for the first time. And they would pay you for it. And yeah, I mean, it's just that's an example of how much the economy was a part of the community. Even something like that was dictated by people becoming that profession, which is cool. And after that, that's when I became a doctor in the game. And that's what I ended up doing for a couple of years because I loved it so much. And, it was neat. But yeah, I hope I answered your question, Swish. I miss that game so much. Occasionally I'll still fire it up, but it's been a long time. It definitely hasn't been since I got my new PC in October because I don't have it installed, but I'll fire up some player-made servers from time to time just to kind of get a jolt of nostalgia, and that's really about it. I don't really have time to... I mean, maybe I could devote a solid month to just streaming it when I'm at home, and my wife's at work and my daughter's at school. Maybe I could just stream it for a solid month every time, but I don't know. Anyway. I appreciate that, Swish. Cheers. What? We're talking Cheesecake Factory? Our Cheesecake Factory sign lights went out, so it says E-Cake Factory. Oh, I was driving through. So if you're driving on 95 towards Jacksonville, there's a big light. A light that says Jacksonville over a bridge. And it's like right at the Jacksonville City, like the Duval line, I think. And the S was burned out. So it said Jack on Ville. I just thought that was funny. Jack on Ville. Jack on Ville. Okay. Opposed to the opposite of that. It was just funny to me. I tried to get a picture, but I decided to be safe and not attempt to get a picture going 75 miles an hour on 95. So I don't have the proof or the evidence, but I'm sure somebody does if you scroll around. Let's see. How did you guys get on the topic of Cheesecake Factory? I had a bad experience at Cheesecake Factory. What? They gave me the wrong cheese on my burger, and they gave me a piece of frozen cheesecake. Never going to that location again. I haven't been there in well over... I honestly don't remember the last time I went there. It's definitely been over a decade. It might be like when me and my wife first started dating like 17 years ago. It's been so long since I've gone there. I'm sure my daughter would love it. Oh. There's one in Jacksonville? I think there's just one. But when was the last time you went to Disney World? Man, it was probably sometime in... Oh, man, if I had to guess, it was sometime in June or July. I think that's when our season passes... ran out. Yeah, we had year-long passes until around that time, I think. And we went one last time before they ran out. I want to say it was either June or July. I don't remember exactly. But used to go all the time when we had those season passes. Oh, one sec. What? Yeah, we used to go all the time. Like, if I was off on a day and my daughter didn't have school, I would just be like, hey, you want to go to Disney World? And we would drive 2 hours down there just for a day trip, Very spoiled that we live so close. I know. I mean, people travel so far from the other side of the globe to go somewhere that we take for granted, really, Do they still have season passes? As far as I know. I think there was like a waiting list or something like that for a while, but I don't know. You haven't considered getting another season pass, Christian? We've considered it, but we are deciding this year to do other things. Like, we went to Disney a lot. You know, you drop a lot of money there. Went on a hotel and food and shit. But so this year we decided to kind of take a break, and we have some other trips planned. We have like a cruise planned next month, me, my wife, and my daughter. Then we have a trip out to Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons planned for May, and some other trips planned. So instead of, you know, renewing our Disney passes, we're deciding to, you know, do some other things. We'll take our daughter to like Disney on her birthday, but other than that, you know, we'll probably wait a year or two to renew our passes. But Busch Gardens, SeaWorld. Yeah, I think she's a little too young for Busch Gardens right now. You know, we want to take her to like Universal and Islands of Adventure, but she's 5 years old, and I'm sure she would really enjoy it, but I kind of want to wait a little while until she's old enough to go on, you know, the Hulk and all those bigger rides. I think it's, you know, those parks are a little tailor-made for older kids, I think. At least from my experience, so I kind of want to wait a little bit, you know. I haven't been to Busch Gardens or SeaWorld in, no joke, probably close to 20 years. I remember the last time I went to SeaWorld, it was right... okay, so it would have been 2007. I believe I just got out of boot camp. Or it might have been 2007 or early 2008. So, like 16, 17 years ago. Yeah, that's the last time I went to SeaWorld. I know a lot. Where did that? Christian says one day I will go to Disney World. Yeah, it's fun, but you know, a lot of people that have never been to the States. I'm not saying that's you, Christian, but you know, people who want to come over and come to the States for the first time and whatnot. It's interesting to me that they go to Disney World. And again, this is me just taking it for granted because I live 2 hours away from it, you know. But it's just really interesting to me that they choose to go to Disney World to get like like come to the States for the first time, and you know, I'm sure it's fun, but in my head I'm like, man, go check out our national parks, go to the coast and enjoy our beaches and the surf life, and like, there's so much beautiful stuff to see here. Instead of going to Orlando, Florida. Orlando kind of sucks outside of Disney World, man. I lived there for like a year and a half. Yeah, I've been to New York a bunch, Christian. I have buddies that lived there for like 10 years and used to visit them, and I've been up there with my wife a few times. It's fun. I don't know. I never know what I recommend somebody. I never know what to recommend to somebody who's never been to the States, because it's such a big, sprawling country with a wide variety of, I don't know, vistas and locations and things to do and whatnot. And I don't know what the best, like, American experience would be coming from another country. I don't know, you know. I mean, New York is cool, and it is a big melting pot, and but it's a city, you know. I kind of almost recommend people go, I don't know, to Utah. Check out our national parks. Do the Utah Mighty Five, you know. Go to Yellowstone. I don't know. But that's just me. That's somebody who's lived here forever, you know, and maybe that's just my own desires, but I don't know. I saw that. Vince, thank you so much for the channel support. I saw that too. Vince said, saw a video a guy contacted the ISS, International Space Station, with a ham radio. Never even thought about doing that. He was greeted with a welcome aboard, badass. Yeah, it was a really quick response too, right? I saw that. Was that like a month ago? Maybe the video's older than that, but I saw it maybe a month ago. But yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I never considered it either. I'm very surprised that they have that, you know, such a, I mean, that's how they communicate, radio, right? So I was talking to a guy recently, Vince, and no disrespect to this guy. I love him. He's a great guy, somebody I work with. I really enjoy working with him. But it was kind of blowing my mind because we were talking about the moon landing and he was questioning it. And you know, this is something near and dear to my heart. I'm very familiar with it. In terms of history that I'm educated on, it is like the top tier of my knowledge. And he said, you know, how did we go to the moon? We didn't even have cell phones. Like, he thought they communicated with cell phones to the astronauts. And I had to sit back for a second and kind of understand what he was saying. And I was like, no, it was just radio. They were talking. It was radio, man. You know, the speed of light is 186,000 miles a second, and they talk to each other at that speed. And the moon is 250,000 miles away, so it took about a second and a half for the transmissions to get back and forth. Blah, blah, blah. I explained it to him. And so your little super chat reminded me of that there, Vince. Oftentimes people who question it don't know anything about it, right? But yeah, that's really, really neat. That reminds me, the space station is flying overhead, or did it already fly overhead? I usually try to catch it. Yeah, it already flew overhead. Flying overhead Jacksonville tomorrow around 7:15 p.m. So I'm going to go check it out. I'll be at work. But yeah, interesting stuff, Vince. I appreciate that, man. Go to Waffle House. There you go. Dude, my daughter loves Waffle House. I took her for the first time maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. It was just on a whim. We had to do oh no, it was around, yeah, it was probably around then. And it was just kind of on a whim. We were running some errands. And I was like, where can we get some breakfast? Let's go to the Waffle House. And she wore the hat. She got a chocolate chip pancake, or a waffle rather. And she loved it. I took her there, but right before Christmas, we had to do some final Christmas shopping. And it was on the way to the mall, so we swung in there and did that as well. Of course, there was drama going on there. It's always a show. The greeter, the lady who was taking names, was in a little kerfuffle with one of the cooks, and they would argue back and forth every few minutes. I'm just sitting there like, can I please just go to the goddamn Waffle House without hearing some conflict? I'm just here with my kid eating some chocolate chip waffles, man. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Oscar says, let's see. Oscar says Death Valley, Aspen, Denali, Niagara Falls, DC. I've only been to, I've been to Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. I've never been to the American side of Niagara Falls. I've been to the Canadian side, and I've also been to DC. I've always wanted to go to Denali. That is definitely tip top on my bucket list of places that I want to go. National parks that I'd like to check out. Never been to Death Valley, never been to Aspen. I've been through Colorado. I've been to Utah. Saw the Rockies, but didn't never went to Aspen. But yeah, those are solid places. I think, you know, somebody coming from another country who wants to experience America, those are all solid choices. DC would obviously be a solid choice. You get to see the heartbeat, the epicenter of, I guess, our government. But, you know, maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you just want to go experience the culture. I always recommend going and checking out national parks, and especially towns around national parks. You know, very like Moab, Utah, such a cool culture. Super fun. But yeah, I appreciate that, Oscar. Cheers, man. I've never tried a pecan waffle either. I've been to Waffle House maybe 3 times in the past 15 years. I don't even know what I get. Last time I got a I don't know, it was like a hash brown sausage egg bowl. It was all right. Most of this, I like cooking breakfast at home. Pretty good at cooking breakfast, and whenever I have breakfast somewhere, like at the Waffle House, I'm like, I mean, I could have made this. I'm pretty good at making pancakes and waffles. I can also buy refrigerated, already hashed hash browns. I like hashing my own hash browns with a grater. You know, you soak them to get the starches out. I always like making that. You know, a bunch of vegetable oil. Throw it in there. Let it sit for a while. Smash it down a little bit. Create a little hash brown patty. Maybe some Lowry, some garlic salt. Heavy dose of black pepper. It's pretty solid. But yeah. Let's see. All right, so only got a couple minutes. Golly, this flew by, man. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start hopping off here. We're a little, like 2 minutes away from 30 minutes, but I got some chores I want to knock out. I folded some baskets of laundry today that have been we've been neglecting. And there's one load of laundry that I need to fold, and I'm determined to get that shit put away. Now I gotta get our sheets on the bed. Gotta get the trash to the curb. I want to. Yeah, there's a couple other things that I need to knock out before my wife comes down after putting my daughter to sleep. So. Anyway. All right, guys. Robin, thank you so much for coming in with the final super chat and channel support. Robin says, hey, yo, just wanted to say hi and hope all is well. All is well, man. All is well. Staying busy. Had a fun day with my kid today and yesterday. Yesterday we went putt-putt golfing. Then we went to an arcade bar. She played like $20 worth of arcades. We had $20 worth of beer, me and my wife. And then we went to dinner. And today, me and my daughter were super lazy while my wife was at work. We played a bunch of video games. She actually played on my PC. She played a Paw Patrol game. She played a Hot Wheels racing game, and then she tried Pressure Washing Simulator. I thought that would be kind of silly. She couldn't really understand how both joysticks needed to be used to like look around. You know, she had some trouble with that, but yeah. Anyway, Robin, I appreciate that. Things are going well. But cheers, man. Hope things are going well for you as well. All right, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Cool? Cool. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Or whatever. And I'll see you soon. All right? Stay safe out there. See ya. Let's go to the mall. Later.